every game. Really, it's kind of, they're pretty hard counters though, so scouting is very, very, very crucial, and it's kind of interesting, a little different than StarCraft 1, very similar in how hard counters versus hard counters, but the thing is you have sentries which allow for defensive play and allow you to have a lot less units and still play quite defensively and somehow defend using those force fields nicely. So it's interesting matchup here, especially in StarCraft 2, but nonetheless, looks like pylons are going down in the bases for both players, so we're not going to see any cheese or anything like that. But 4-gate or 3-gate Blink Stalker, DTs, or 2-gate into Robo, all possible openings. As soon as those scouting probes die, we'll be able to tell you more.
And it looks like a Viral Rush is not going to be scouting, while Master G is going to be scouting for a proxy as well, while scouting with his initial 9 pylon scout. I mean, they kind of say, like, if you do something sneaky yourself, like a thief will often have a lot of locks on his doors because he knows, you know, what the damage can be, and so you're kind of aware of that kind of stuff. It seems like kind of the case here. Viral Rush kind of scouting a little bit later, and it looks like slightly different timings on gas and gateways.
Yeah, just a tad bit. Obviously, I kind of do. Viral Rush is going to go ahead and throw down his gateway a little bit sooner than I think it was a 12-gate versus maybe a 14-gate. But he's going to go ahead and get the gateway down. Probably because he went for such an early gateway, he's going to allow his scouting probe, or what could have been a scouting probe, to go ahead and get a few more mining time in. But obviously, if you don't scout after pylon, you are a little more susceptible to cheese. But other than that, if you're not susceptible to cheese, you can go ahead and get your scouting probe in there, get plenty of information before that stalker pushes you out. But nonetheless, probes in each other's opponent's base here and really just running around harassing. Hopefully no probe kills, as we did see in the past, but definitely as soon as that scouting stalker gets out, or as the stalker gets out of force out the scouting probe, excuse me, then we'll go ahead and see attack routes here. But it looks like the Cybernetics core coming up for both players, very standard thus far. But as I said, it looks like Viral Rush's Cybernetics core is up quite a bit earlier. Might have a small gap here which he can put pressure on early, and looks like he's going to go ahead and go for that quick 3rd gate before even any units here. This is a very interesting timing. You can see that Master G knows this is coming. He's really going to go ahead and chase that probe round, wants to make sure there are no pylons, has a pylon in the top left of his main here. So we're going to see a bit of early pressure here, and if Master Chi can defend momentarily, so if he can go ahead and pop out a sentry quickly and defend, he's going to go ahead and be a little bit ahead in the economy game.
It looks like actually a 4 warp kit push for Viral Run. And if we look at the rally points for that, he's already rallied inside Master Chi's base, so it looks like he's definitely wanting to be quite aggressive to start off this PvP. And as you said, if Master G can hold this off, he can be quite at an advantage. We shall see what happens in this recent developments.
Yeah, you see, Viral Rush has completely cut probe production, ladies and gentlemen. 22/16, but sadly, probes don't win you the game if you're going to lose simply to the push coming from his opponent. He really should have saw, if he was doing anything with that scouting probe, he definitely should have been counting those probes and realized just how early that Cybernetics core was, as well as just how many probes he has cut. You see a pylon right outside. What this will allow him to do is actually it'll allow him to reinforce his army. Possibly he might even move a pylon closer so we can go and take the high ground and start warping into the high ground. You see a lot of units being produced. Still no sentry out before Master G, and Master G in a ton of trouble. Wow, that sentry was late. He's going to go ahead and start warping it in the high ground, and this game is going to be over very, very quickly, I have a feeling. Just a lack of response here from Master G, and Viral Rush going to probably take a quick 1-0 lead if I had to call it as of yet. Probes being pulled off. Nice job microing back the Hurt Zealot. The micro so far from Viral Rush has been superb, and the early tech buildings and lack of, or the probe cut, the cut of probe production, excuse me, has definitely played in favor, and he is just gonna do a ton of damage here. 3 Zealots out to try to defend, but more and more reinforcements being warped in, and that pylon positioning was beautiful. You can see the skinny amount of area that the Protoss can go ahead and warp in units, and this game is over. Very, very simple. Lack of response from the Protoss. GG coming from Master G.
Yeah, that seemed pretty comprehensive outplaying, even for kind of a PvP where build orders can kind of win you the game. Very well played by Viral Rush.
Let me go ahead and fix this overlay. I keep forgetting.
Yeah, it is kind of the small detail. And I think the second map will be the loser's pick, so it will be Master G choosing the map. Of course, Protest versus Protest mirror match, not really kind of a map imbalance you can rely on, or map favorability. So it's probably going to come down to player preference, although I'm not quite sure. What do you think about that, Sunday?
You're down 0-1 in the best out of 5 series. Probably going to go with a map that you're most comfortable with. Maybe if you have a cheese strategy plan. I don't think Master G, I don't think Viral Rush is simply the better player. Really just a build order win to go ahead and cut those pro productions. That's actually a very common build that you do go against when laddering on StarCraft 2 is that 16 pro production. That is an all-in 4-gate push. If you can defend for 2 or 3 minutes, you really have the economy which will allow you to win the game in the mid game or late game even if it does transition that far. But as I said,